My name is Sheriff Swanson, Genesee County. Welcome to another weekly update. We're going to talk about these three individuals in a very disturbing case. We're going to give you some weather update drills, and we're also going to tell you about the reading contest, but this is why it's so important for us to do these stories. They are disturbing to the point that it's going to invoke an emotion. It's probably going to make those out there, as it does me, angry about people that don't care for people and animals, and you have death involved. Starvation of animals, neglect of children. This case has it all. This is a case involving three individuals that were living in a house in the city of Flint on Mabel Avenue, and the AT&T workers that were doing work right outside that house noticed there was a manhole cover that was lifted, and they saw that there was $30,000 worth of Wi-Fi wire cut and stolen from the project. And when deputies showed up and they found the wire, that was just the first part. They saw the conditions of the house. They saw a dead dog, and viewer discretion advised. A dead dog right out front in a cage next to a live dog. If you look a little farther, you'll see inside the house that these dogs were not only ones that were alive, emaciated, they hadn't eaten in weeks, and there was no water there. They looked a little farther. There was a puppy that was alive and another one that was dead in a pizza box. You don't treat animals this way. You don't treat people this way. The house was so deplorable. Inside the refrigerator that had no power and had rotted food inside and had conditions that were so bad that nobody should have even been living there, was a 9-year-old boy. 3 adults, 2 dead dogs, 2 emaciated dogs, and a 9-year-old boy. Sheriff detectives responded, started putting the scene together, recovered the property, saved the other 2 dogs, and was able to work with Child Protective Services in order to get that 9-year-old a safe place to live. So who's responsible? Charles Ashbaker. This is a 38-year-old man from Flint, Michigan, who's now in jail and charged with multiple felonies to include animal abuse, neglect, and torture, felony firearm, drug possession, among other felonies. We work hand in hand with Prosecutor Layton to make sure that these individuals are charged as much as we possibly can and let the system take it from there. He's in jail right now on a $50,000 cash bond. This female was arrested. Another adult in the house that could have made a decision to call for help, but chose not to. This is Kelly Walker, a 29-year-old female, lodged in jail on a cash bond, charged with animal abuse, neglect, and torture, and child abuse, as well as the third subject that I showed you. This subject right here, Dougal Nelson, a 47-year-old man from Flint. He resisted law enforcement when the detectives were there. As Detective Walker was interviewing him, he fought. These are the individuals that could have at any point called 911 and says, I can't take care of my dogs. I can't take care of this child. That's all we're asking. We do this so it allows people that are out there seeing things like AT&T workers, thank you, and others that are knocking on doors, whether it's FedEx or UPS or Amazon, you're seeing these things. Call 911. But if you're in a position where you can't take care of your children or your animals, don't treat them in the way that you see in this case, because we're going to come for you. We're going to hold you accountable. So these 3 individuals, put their pictures up once again. These 3 individuals, these are individuals that are going to be held accountable by the system. And the system will make sure that we don't just put them back where they can go pick up where they left off, but we're going to hold them to the point where they're going to have to answer for their actions. And those 2 dogs, the adult and the puppy, they're at animal control. And we have other advocates that are out there. These are my friends, Jack and Susan Pat, that were part of the Adopt a Pet fundraiser. And some time ago, I donated having some time with the sheriff, and you came to Adopt a Pet because you believe in the rescue of animals and the healthy placement of them in homes. Why do you support, and what does this case mean to somebody like you?
First of all, it's highly disturbing on many, many levels. I can't even fathom, the boy that was there, and then these dogs and the torture that all of them, quite frankly, the boy and the dogs received. Adults need to be adult and take care of whether it's children, animals. Animals can't speak out for themselves. And that's why organizations like Adopt a Pet are so important in communities.
And that's why we as the Sheriff's Office constantly put out that if you're going to beat, starve, and torture an animal to death, it's just a matter of time before you do it to a human. And we saw that here, neglect of animals, neglect of a child, neglect of a house. And so we just want to say thank you for being a supporter of Adopt a Pet. Thank you to the Humane Society, Animal Control, all those in the animal world, because it's people like you that want to give to keep this from happening. One final question, Jeff. Why is it important for us to tell these stories? They are disturbing. You just said it. But we put this out. We give disclaimers. Why is that message so important?
It's important to get more people involved, people like us who are passionate, that want to find a philanthropy to give to. So it's great to hear these stories to get people rallied around it.
We want to invoke emotion because if you want to give to Animal Control, Humane Society, or Adopt a Pet, there's ways to do that. If somebody wanted to give to Adopt a Pet and be a part of it, what's the best way to do that?
Just contact them. I mean, there's web addresses that you can, or go to their location, which is in Fenton, Michigan. So
we do want to say thank you. We have two more things on the story. I appreciate your support of protecting our animals and the Sheriff's Office.